Hello everybody, this is Nuzcraft and welcome back to Monster Hunter World. Today we're going to be taking on the Horned Tyrant Below the Sands quest, where we're going to hunt down a Diablos. Horned Tyrant Below the Sands from the Handler. The first Wyverian's not going to spill the beans about Zora until we stand on top of the food chain. That means we gotta hunt us a Diablos. Does that mean we have to eat it too? So if you remember last episode, we went into the ancient forest, we found the first Wyverian, and that first Wyverian told us to hunt a Rathalos and a Diablos. We hunted the Rathalos. It's this quest, Fiery Throne atop the forest, but we did it from within that expedition, as opposed to popping out of the expedition and then taking on the new quest. I didn't actually accept the quest. Let's go and do that. And we're going to want to go to the eastern camp. Might as well get a voucher going. And that's that, Horned Tyrant Below the Sands. You will notice that we've changed our Palico setup a little bit. Jelly is wearing the full Radabon set, as opposed to the Azure Star set, and that is for no particular reason except that I like how the Radabon set looks. And I think it makes some funny noises, but I don't remember for sure. We'll see when we get out on the quest. Okay, so in terms of items, we have our full spectrum of items ready to go. We have the traps and the trank bombs so that we can capture the Diablos if we wish to. We are also going to grab some screamer pods, which are going to potentially be pretty useful. I believe they will give us some easy screamer pods, so we might not have to use our own, but that's always kind of fun. We ate our food, and we should be good to go. This quest has favorite cutscene, I think, of the game to introduce Diablos to us. Billy's got some urgent news. Remember the bug trappers we made friends with in the ancient forest, Meowster? They taught me how to talk to Jagras. I didn't even know it was possible. So next time we run into some, I'll try to convince them to join the Tail Raiders. I'll do my best to persuade them. Wish me luck. No, we want to take our Palico with us, and Jelly wants to talk again. All right. That nice Tail Raider from before taught me the trick to doing Meowster calls. And get this, when you call a Meowster, they'll let you hop on their back and hitch a ride. Here, I'll teach you how. Oh, Raider Ride. So Raider Ride is a feature added to Iceborn where you can ride the local monsters. Like you can ride the Jagras. I think you can ride Kestodon. And they'll just automatically take you to a destination. You can like sharpen, you can eat some food while you're riding. And you get Raider Ride by, like we befriended the bug trappers in the last area in the ancient forest. So we don't have Raider Ride in the Wildspire Waste yet, but we do have it in the ancient forest, which is pretty cool. We can now use Raider Ride with Jagras in the ancient forest. No, we're not going to leave the Palico behind. Okay. So we don't need to talk to them. And we need to check the supply box where we get first aid meds, easy rations, and easy screamer pods. This is what I was talking about earlier. We are definitely going to want to use those. Might as well just go ahead and get those equipped. It's been a spell since I last played, and I am feeling it. I'm feeling very rusty, so we might see some mistakes as we fight this Diablos. Looks like we've got a Barroth on the map, as well as a Rathian. These old footprints should lead us right to the Diablos. And actually, if I remember, we might see the Barroth during the cutscene. I wanted to mention that last episode, the audio was a little bit funky in some places where it kind of seemed like the audio was like shifting around. And I think that's because I have a directional mic. It's not a particularly good one, but it does the job. And I think I was like leaning forward and putting some sound behind the microphone. That made things sound a little bit weird, so I'm trying to be a little bit more stable, a little bit calmer. Here we've got these Murnos all like making a ruckus, and now we get to our cutscene. I think these are called Murnos. They're little weird chinny chin chins. And there's our Barroth. We've already fought one of them before. Look at that. Barroth's getting mad at the little birds. So they yell really loudly. What happens when they yell really loudly? Boom. There's our Diablos. Comes out of the ground and then takes the Diablos into the sand. And then this pit opens up and we fall in. The Barroth is dead for waking up the Diablos, and then, oh yeah, horns come through the curtain of sand. This is just a terrifying monster. That's why it's my favorite cutscene. Alright, and then check this out. The horns got stuck in the thing. He got smacked around. So yeah, one of the cool things is that its horns can get stuck in the wall, or in certain rocks, if you let it. And so that is pretty cool, like this rock over here, if it charges into it, its horn will get stuck. We are using an ice weapon. Oh, and then here it'll dig underground. And if you shoot the screamer pod, it'll pop out and kind of get stuck. Look at that, we broke a horn already, which is pretty crazy. Let's go in for jelly. I'm gonna pick up this Diablos material, which is a ridge. We keep bouncing on the horn. This is kind of a hard part. Oops, thought I could roll through that, but I should use my shield. Don't want to get hit by its run, so we can kind of run around. and that has a pretty big hitbox. Now we can get red shield. Block. That's good. Let's see if we can grab this figure wasp. Get out of the way here. We want to get red sword if we can, because red sword will give us natural mind's eye, which means we're not gonna get we're not gonna bounce. Oops, I did that wrong. I got red shield again. I didn't want to get red shield again. Oh, let's just block. Nope, we're good. Let's grab this. Superman dive. Now it screams because it's mad, I think. And we get smacked by that. We need to heal. Should be able to dodge this without having to do anything. Oops, I thought I could heal doing that. Should be able to sharpen during this. Superman dive. Would love to get a KO. Looks like we broke the other horn, which is pretty great, but I want to break the tail. Oh, of course you're grumpy. I think that means you're leaving. So I don't think we can Screamer Pot it out of this because it's gonna run away. Yep, ran away. Okay, so Diablos. Super cool monster. The digging mechanic is one where the Screamer Pods can do a lot of work, especially here in Monster Hunter World. The Screamer Pods never lose their effectiveness. I think you can almost always Screamer it out. In Iceborn, you don't Screamer it out as often because it doesn't really feel like you need to. But it's a really great tactic, and technically what you can do for cheese is if you Screamer Pod and then switch to a Flash Pod. I'm not going to do this because I don't have the timing right, but when it pops out of the ground after you've gotten it stuck with a Screamer Pod, it'll fly for a little bit, and then you can flash it out of the sky, which is pretty cool. We're going to see if we can get that tail cut. And actually the other reason why in Iceborn you don't see as many Screamer Pods is because a lot of people will have their pods out or whatever. I'm gonna go for the back here. Oops. I wanted to do a... And we got that block. Get this tail. Sometimes you just gotta Superman dive away from these things. Alright, we got it knocked down. We missed, 100%. And then we got smacked, 100%. redemption right here. Oh, man, that axe mode charge is long. On those thrusts, the tail can hit you. Alright, we're just gonna block here. Oh, we missed. Oh no, we hit a little bit. But we got hurt. So instead of taking advantage of this, we're gonna try and heal. Not get smacked around. We have the opportunity here, if we can find some... Oh crap. If we... I don't think there's any stones down here, but if we found some stones we could do a... Oh crap. So in this case he goes into the wall, and he flies out and does this big sweep. Okay, that's good. We should be able to sharpen here. Might be a little bit. Ooh, we might get smacked for this. Yep, that's okay. Tried to roll the roar. Couldn't quite get it. I think it's going somewhere else. Yep, it's going somewhere else. We're out of first aid meds. Which is fine, we still have some potions. So Diablos, I think, is kind of can be a tougher monster for people to take on. I think with Charge Blade, you have the ability to get really good at blocking. And getting knockdowns and stuff like that. So you can get your super amped element discharges off. Oh, I do want one of these. Alright, so we're going to knock it down, and then we should be able to get some decent work here in on this tail. There we go. I wanted that. Perfect. We want to get some charge. Ooh. That side, that hip check is pretty big sometimes. Oh, and look at that. It ran into that rock and got KO'd, which is pretty funny. Block. Go. And look at that, we've got a pod. Go ahead and weaken. Oops. Oh, no. Perfect. Okay. So, the Rodamon weapon that my cat has is a sleep weapon. So what we did just there is we went and we smacked on a Kestodon so that we could get a full set of files. And then we're going to come over here. We're going to, if we can't, there we go. Look at that good damage. And it looks like we got another file out, or another pod out, which means that we should be good to get a shock trap down. There we go. The Diablos has been captured.
Says he wants to talk to the conqueror of the ecosystem. That's you.
Heck yeah, I'm the conqueror of the ecosystem. So Diablos dropped a couple pods. We broke the back. Looks like the back. Maybe we broke a wing? Yeah, we broke a wing. We broke both horns. We cut the tail. We carved the tail. And that's pretty good for... It's pretty good for hunting a Diablos. Generally, you really want both horn breaks because that has the chance to give you like one of the rare drops. Let's see what we got. So we got Diablos Fangs, Diablos Ridge, Diablos Shell, and then down here, so breaking both horns got us a Twisted Horn. Breaking its back, so we did break the back, we got a Ridge. Capturing got us a tail case, a marrow, a ridge, a marrow, and a tail case. I think we also got a tail case from the carve. So here, this Twisted Horn, this is the rare drop that you want to get from breaking both horns. It's one of the more important pieces. You have ascended to the apex and proved yourself. Now you may know the secret of the dragon that carries a mountain of fire on its back. The dragon hovers on the brink of death, but the light of life is calling to it, drawing it away from its proper grave. It has wandered into the Everstream and lost its way. Now it stands poised to perish there, brimming with fiery, life-bringing energy. The Everstream connects every corner of this land like the veins of a beating heart. Should the dragon succumb to death there, its glut of energy will hurtle through those veins, setting them afire and searing the land to ash and scorched earth. That is the dragon's secret. That shall be this land's fate. That's pretty dark. And you didn't want to tell me until I killed a Rathalos and a Diablos? You could have just told me. Nature's course cannot be swayed. I differ. I think we can sway nature's course.
Quiet down. Let's review our current situation.
Yes, Commander. Let's review.
Thanks to the Fifth Fleet's diligent efforts, we've learned a number of things. 1. That Zora Magdaros is heading for the Everstream. 2. That upon its death, it'll release the bioenergy it has stored. And 3. That the Everstream is connected to every corner of the New World.
So basically, we should have just made friends with the first Wyverians a long time ago.
So, if Zora dies inside the Everstream, its bioenergy will blast us all to hell.
Commander, the Commission should make evacuation its first priority. I'll tell my sister to prepare her airship.
We're gonna flee! Run away! Run away!
There's no time. We don't have any choice but to take down Zora Magdaros.
What? Blowing ourselves to oblivion is not what we're trying to do.
That's right, if you kill it, it still dies and you blow up everything.
Correct. And the whole reason we're here is to study the beast's role in the ecosystem. Not erase it from the ecosystem altogether.
But we erase a lot of other monsters from the ecosystem altogether. So, erasing Zora is not all that bad.
I think I might have an alternative.
Oh, Handler, let's go.
What if we tried to lure it away from the Everstream somehow?
Lure it away.
Yes, sir. I did a little digging, and the Everstream borders the ocean, right? So if we can lure Zora Magdaros out onto the open water...
We can mitigate the blast. And the bioenergy released would start a whole new ecosystem in the ocean. Life would go on.
Need I remind you, sir, that we're currently short on supplies from our attempt to capture it?
Oh, provisions manager. You're perfect.
And even if we had enough supplies, what kind of weapon could get that thing to change its course?
Don't worry. I have a plan.
Oh, so Handler came up with an idea, and you already have a plan, Commander.
Very big plan.
A big plan.
That's what I think it is.
Oh, now we're talking.
Got a ship. What's the ship gonna do? It's just a ship.
Captain, you sure took your sweet time getting here. But we're happy you made it.
Hey,
Happy
Argosy
to be
Captain.
here. I brought everything you'll need. Ballista, cannon rounds, and a literal boatload of supplies.
Sweet, resupplied.
Not to mention a little surprise. The guild supplied us with one hell of a ship. She's armed with the latest anti-Elder dragon weapon, a Dragonator.
Dragonator.
Excellent.
Where's my Dragonator?
Need to drive Zora Magdaros out to sea. Hunters, it's time. Complete your preparations with speed and make your way to the Everstream. I'll explain the details on site. We can do this. We must do this. May the Sapphire Star light our way. Now, get moving.
It's time to see Zora Magdaros off. All of us.
Alrighty. Okay, so we are not going to take on another quest today. We're going to talk to some of these exclamation points, and we're going to go look at the Diablos armor. Now that I think about it, it wasn't until the 5th got here that our research started moving forward. I was hoping you'd be the kick in the rear end of the commission needed to make progress, but you're more than that. You're a damned force of nature is what you are. I'll just go ahead and pat myself on the back for being smart enough to bring you here.
Listen to me.
Well, time is running short. You need to get to the Everstream. We'll run through what needs to be done on site. Good luck.
May the Sapphire Star light your way.
May the Sapphire Star light our way. Yours, mine, and the guild's. Okay, so the next mission is to take on Zora Magdaros again, and it is actually it's going to be our last low rank, kind of low rank. It's the transition into high rank. So it's a pretty fun mission. It's more fun than the last Zora mission.
New products in stock.
New products. What you got? What you got? Gunpowder, golden fish bait. I don't care. We're good. And we can once again see the cannons and supplies and stuff up here, which is pretty fun. So yeah, this is next Zora mission is going to be our transition into high rank. It is more fun. It's more fun of a mission than the last one. And the game really starts to open up after this. Alright, so I've got some sleep herbs going because I need them, and we're going to do some fertilizer. And now we're going to go take a look at the Diablos armor and see if there's a Diablos weapon that we can pull out. I'm not sure if I mentioned it while we were fighting Diablos. I meant to. One of the reasons why the Diablos fight went so well is that we are using an ice weapon. And Diablos is particularly weak to ice. What's going on here? Okay, yeah, you've got an exclamation point. Hey, you're just the hunter I was looking for. I'm working on a new specialized tool, but I need help with the materials. Can I talk you into signing up for the Redefining the Power Couple quest?
All right.
I asked Provisions to put aside what I needed once the quest is complete. Whenever you feel like it is just fine. And that's hunting a Rathalos and a Rathian. Alright, Second Fleet Master, let's take a look. Forge equipment, if we look at weapons, I don't expect there to be anything new here. Nope, got our Dragonbone Cutter. And if we look at armor, we've got the Diablos weapon. If we do a preview, it looks super bulky with the big horns on the side and kind of like the enclosed headpiece. Not a huge fan of this look, but some people really like the bulkier sets. Like this one's bulky, and Radabon can be a little bit bulky. Metal can be bulky. Some people really like these types of sets, but I'm not a huge fan. If we look at the skills, we see there's a set bonus called Bludgeoner. If we take a look, Bludgeoner raises attack as your weapon loses sharpness, also boosts range weapon melee attacks and the odds of stunning. So that's a pretty cool skill, but I believe it's only really good in low rank, because the low rank weapons have either green or yellow sharpness, and I think this only gets an attack boost at green or yellow sharpness. But as you go up in sharpness levels, the attack boost you get from the increased sharpness is more than the attack boost you get from having less sharpness and Bludgeoner on. So that's kind of interesting. The head comes with critical draw, which adds 30% affinity to your draw attacks, which is an extra 30% chance for a critical hit. Slugger, which will increase your stun power to 40% at level 3, and critical draw was 100% at level 3. So if you get critical draw level 3, your first attack drawing will always be a critical hit, and that's really great for like greatsword, and hammer as well. Sometimes weapons that you tend to put away to reposition. Heroics, which will give you, I believe, an attack and potentially defense boost. Yep. So we'll give you a defense boost and then potentially an attack boost when your health drops. Marathon Runner will increase stamina from things like running, and then Tremor Resistance will give you resistance to ground tremors, which can be a big deal because you kind of lose your footing. Overall, with Charge Blade, I'm not looking to use any of these sets or any of these pieces. Slugger is potentially good if you've got an impact file, but it's not super necessary. And I don't really like the look of the Diablos stuff, so we're not going to be going for any of this. Now to look at potential weapon upgrades. We do have a full Diablos tree, and the interesting part about the Diablos weapons is the affinity. So if you compare this to, Dear Lieutenant, I don't want to compare it to Dear Lieutenants. Let's compare it to the weapon that we have, which is the Elite Commission Axe 3. No, the Everfrost Blade. Let's compare it to that. So if you compare it to the Everfrost Blade, you can see they're both at the same level here in the tree. The attack boost that Diablo's Wall gets is huge, right? 612 attack versus 504, but the affinity decrease is equally huge. 30% affinity. Negative 30% affinity means that 30% of the time your hits are going to do 75% damage instead of full damage, which can be a really big deal, right? I don't know the math on what your expected attack power is, but if you take 10 attacks and 30% of them, 3 of them are 75% damage, and then average that out, that's what your new attack power is. Gets a defense bonus, and it's got an impact file, so it's not a bad weapon. And as you move up the Diablos tree, for a lot of weapons, at least in base world, Diablos was among the best weapons, because we had armor skills that could mitigate that affinity, and make it so that you could do critical hits with the really high attack of the weapons, which is cool, which is very cool. Alrighty, so that is going to be it for today. Next time, we are probably just going to go ahead and take on Zora Magdaros. That's going to be a pretty fun hunt, and yeah, it should be good. Thank you so much for watching. This was Nuzcraft. We'll see you again next time. Take care.